Good evening, everyone. I would like to call this meeting of the Sylva Town Board of Commissioners to order. And the first thing on our agenda is approval of our agenda as you see it on your agenda that Amanda sent. Do I have a motion to approve that?
I'll make that motion.
Okay. Mary has made the motion. Any discussion? Then I will ask Amanda to call the roll.
Barbara,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Greg,
Yes.
Ben,
Yes.
Thank you. The motion is approved. Next is approval of our consent agenda. That's in your packet also. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll motion.
Okay. Thank you, Ben. Is there any discussion? Then all those in favor, Amanda, will you please?
Ben,
Yes.
Greg,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
Barbara.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion is approved. Then we'll move to public comment. Amanda,
No, we don't have any.
we have no public comment tonight. So then we will move to our reports. Mayor's report. I just want to remind everybody that this month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I'm sure that each and every one of us have been touched in some way by a family member, a friend, whatever, with breast cancer. Chief Hatton is honoring those this week, along with, we couldn't do the march, but he has little gifts for the survivors, and they're signing his car and a flag. And thanks to Jake, the fountain was pink today. So thank all of you for doing that. And please, everyone, remind your spouses, your friends, whoever, to remember to get their mammograms or whatever, because early detection saves lives. Thank you. And I wanted to also mention one other thing. I want to thank all of the town's departments that helped with a rescue that was in my neighborhood this week. Someone was digging a trench to waterproof their basement, and the trench collapsed on them, and they had to be dug out. And luckily they weren't in far enough that it was really serious. It didn't stop their breathing. But the fire department, Mallory and Mike and the rest of them, the police department was there, and Jake with his backhoe was there before anybody to try to help. So thank you all for doing it. And that is all I have to report. Barbara. You'll have to.
My husband just came in and he said that Old Hometown Road is open.
Yes.
So that is wonderful news for us because it has just been wide open here. So I'm glad to see that. I'm glad to see the outdoor dining. I think that's a real plus for the town, and it's going to help a lot of the businesses. And I like that the town has been decorated, and I think I saw the banners out today. I don't know if it was all through town or not, but I know I saw a couple. But it's a challenge, I think, right now, trying to do everything. But I really think our town is trying to come together and work hard, and especially supporting our businesses. I'm hoping that people will please do the 3 W's. I mean, you know, masks, social distancing, and washing your hands is not that difficult. And I think we can see what happened at the White House for people that do not do that, and so many caught the virus. So it's so simple. And if you don't care about yourself, care about others. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Mary?
In addition to Breast Cancer Awareness Month, my lighting is awful, but I'm wearing purple tonight in awareness of domestic violence. It's also Domestic Violence Month. I think that's been celebrated since the 80s. 3 out of 4 people have either been a victim of domestic violence or they themselves are victims. So I just want to acknowledge those folks this month and know that they have our support. I want to say thank you to Jake and the Public Works. Evelina Street's crosswalk is looking really sharp. The bricks going in. I'm really happy to see that finally happen. That's been years of coming that I want to celebrate. I've heard a lot of great feedback from folks about the outside dining. It sort of looks like a festival is happening and it's drawing attention to downtown when people drive through. And I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. David?
Yeah, so first off, I want to let the board know that I tested positive for coronavirus yesterday. And yeah, to be quite honest, it feels pretty horrible. I know people's experiences with this virus range in severity. And my intent here is not to terrify anybody, but really, please listen when I tell you this is something that everybody should take very seriously. You know, I'm fairly young and fairly healthy, and I've had a miserable few days fighting this off. And I'm very lucky that I have health insurance and a strong support network, but not everybody is as lucky as me in that regard. But one of the first things you got to think about when you test positive is all the places you've been, all the people that you've been around. And, you know, I think we've all kind of gotten this way, but I at least, I started acting a little selfishly, going places and doing things that I should have thought harder about before I did them. So I would encourage people to take a minute at the end of each day and really think about all the people that you might have exposed to this virus if you wake up sick the next day. The symptoms are really bad, but really the worst part is having to call your friends, your family, and tell them that you might have exposed them to it. So please take it seriously, act responsibly, take care of your community, and definitely practice the 3 W's.
Thank you,
That's
David.
all I got.
We wish you quick healing.
Thanks.
Anything else?
Nope.
Okay, thank you. Ben?
Yeah, I just want to echo that. You know, hang in there, Dave. It's some people I've known people that are just like, oh, just felt, you know, just a little something. Other folks really get knocked down, and then other folks are on a ventilator. So it's, you know, and it's random too. So yeah, take care of yourself. And, you know, it just goes back to basically what Dave says too, is like, prevent people from getting this. Anything you can do, because we can do things, you know, distancing, masks, just doing these things will prevent other people from getting it. And quite frankly, it'll help us out in the ER and in the hospital. I mean, I can tell you, and we were seeing, you know, this steady stream of COVID, not overwhelming on COVID, but the hospital is full. You know, Mission has been on diversion for days. I've been sitting on people in the ER, not with COVID, but with other things, just sick people. We've been sending people to Charlotte. We're calling a transfer center and we're saying, get this person anywhere. Sitting on people for 24 hours in the emergency room that should have been in a bed. And this is not COVID. So if we start throwing COVID on top of all of this, I just don't even want to think about it, because we don't have to throw COVID on top of this if we keep doing the things that we can do to reduce the other folks getting it. People are going to get it. It's just how it is. But if we can reduce the amount of people that get it, we can really help all of us out. And yeah, that life you save can be someone else's. So please do that. And I just want to echo again, downloading the app. It can be very helpful too. And then it lets other folks know that they've been exposed. So you don't have to remember or say it was at work that you were exposed and you don't, know all these people at work and who they're in contact with. And so that can also be really helpful. Other things from that, just it was an innovation the other day, and they've gone into phase 3 now. So there's one table, so there's still some indoor seating as the weather's going to get colder. People are going to be able to be inside a little bit, so there's a slow, steady moving towards normalcy, but we're still a long way from that. And I really want to thank everybody who was involved with getting the outdoor seating going. I agree, it looks great. You can see Vivian's having a great time here at the brewery, and really enjoying being able to sit outside. And I know the business owners are really excited about it. I've talked to them, and so thanks everybody involved to getting the outdoor seating going. Just a small update on the multi-use trails, mountain bike trails at Pinnacle. They've been out kind of walking around. I've seen kind of a very, very preliminary sketch out, and folks that are in the design phase are pretty excited. They're actually more excited that it's not as steep as they thought it was going to be. So it's going to open it up for more people to have access to the trail, from beginners to experts. So it's not just going to be only experts that are going to get out there. A lot of folks will have access to the trails once they get up and running. And I will keep informing you as they get more official with their designs. Of course, we'll talk about that. But they're just, again, kind of a sketch out phase. So it's nothing I'm going to bring to you all, but eventually when we start to get something more finalized, we'll have some agenda items and be able to talk about it. So that's it for me.
Thank you, Ben. Greg.
Just a couple of quick things. I'm heartened to see most everybody downtown wearing their masks. Downtown is a very sort of close in. We're all sort of right there together, and I think that's very important. And I hope that we can just continue that trend. Thanks everybody for the outdoor seating. I think it's really great. Lots of positive responses. Let's see. I'm looking forward to our agenda item discussions, and looking forward to more ways that we can exemplify our commitment to diversity in the community. Also, just very heartened to see also all of the infrastructure money that's being spent downtown. I think I count 4 or 5 renovations just on my end of the block right now. This money is being spent, and it's going to come back in droves. Lots of people discovering Sylva, and everybody's really busy despite what's happening in the economy and with this current situation. So yeah, I'm really heartened to see all that. That's all I have tonight.
Thank you, Greg. Next is our manager's report.
There I go. Good evening, everyone. 2 quick items I just want to bring to your attention is our Allen Street slide area. I've asked Richard Wooten, who's a senior geologist with the North Carolina Department of Environmental and Natural Resources, to study our landslide area. He and his teams worked 2 days up there, finishing today. They have flown that area, not just our current slide area, but they've expanded the area to look at that entire road area, ridge up through there. And they used LiDAR to map it, and we should have a report back middle part of next week is what they're shooting for. And so that we're looking at just not the current slide area, but the entire area up there to see what type of issues we may have. And then also I'd like to thank Jake and the mayor and the public works crew and John with the county planning and NCDOT for working with us to get our outdoor seating in place. That it was a long time coming, but I really appreciate everyone's help.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan. And I wanted to ask Jake, do we have any more barriers? Because I thought there were a couple more businesses that wanted to have some outside seating.
Yeah, Mayor, we do have additional barriers and additional crowd fencing. Some of the businesses that had originally expressed interest opted out just due to the coming weather, and we're waiting on two businesses to finish the agreement, our little agreement. So as soon as they're ready to move forward, we'll get them set up also.
Very good.
One of those businesses, The Cut.
Yeah, the cut is she's wanting to combine with Guadalupe and have a shared space, and so they're ironing the details of that out now with their parking, and they're going to bring Mike drew up a very, very simple agreement with the town. Basically, they relinquish liability of us and the DOT and add us to their insurance. So as soon as they do that, we'll be moving forward if they're still interested.
Great, thanks. I heard from them this week.
And one more question, Jake,
Yes.
too. What about in front of innovation? Have they talked to you? I'm just like personally worried about their proximity to the road there. Have they talked to you about maybe putting some barriers up?
They haven't been. I can approach Chip and Nicole and see if they're interested. Because they do have so much more outdoor seating than everybody else, I've kind of been focused on the actual Main Street corridor there. They're interested, we can figure something out.
Yeah, just something. I mean, it doesn't have
Right.
just a little something, and it's more me just like worried about public safety than anything else.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it would take, they have a lot of road frontage that they're using for seating right now. That would take a lot of barricades. Barricades that I don't think we have enough to do with the remainder, with White Moon, with the Cut, and a few of the others that have expressed interest. We can't run the
Right.
whole frontage, but maybe we can at least get a couple, like an abutment type thing on
Yeah,
either
yeah.
end to protect in case somebody were to swerve right there. Because
Hmm.
right now, there's nothing but the yellow line. I
Yeah.
agree with you. It's
Yeah.
pretty scary.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Jake. And now we have the fire department report, Mr. Beck and Mallory.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. So first off, we're just gonna go over some of the stuff we've done over the past month. We had our rating. We have not heard anything back from that. So hopefully the next board meeting we'll have a number for you guys. So since the last meeting, we've run 54 calls. We're at 525 calls for the year now. That's just about 2 calls per day. And that's pretty much it about the calls. We did have, like you were saying earlier, Mayor, we had that that trench rescue. That's pretty much what we've been doing. We've had a couple wrecks. We've not really had any fires or anything. So it's good and quiet. I probably messed it up by saying that, but all is good right now. I don't know if Mike wants to say anything.
Yeah, all I was going to talk about was the bicycle trails that we're putting up on top of Fisher Creek. If we could, we'd like to kind of be included in the mapping of that, so we may have to rescue or something, get somebody off that if somebody gets hurt. Kind of know how they're going to run, that kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. So Peter Tay and the folks that are working on the design are definitely aware of that, and part of, because this is the folks that are designing are professional trail designers, and part of what they do is think about kind of search and rescue, or the potential for someone getting hurt and how do you get to that kind of thing. So yeah, and I'll definitely mention it to them when things start to come together a little bit more. I imagine they would be reaching out to you anyways, but I'll make sure they do.
Okay, well, thank you.
Is that all from the fire department?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, thank you all. Jake?
Yeah, I just wanted to thank Mallory and Mike there for their assistance with that trench rescue. I think they both know that could have been a whole lot worse than it turned out. Their response was fantastic, and I really appreciate them and their whole department. So thank you guys.
And thank you, Jake. We thank you and your crew for coming too. You're a big help to us too.
Thank you both. Greg?
Yeah, I heard the siren go off the other day. I'm assuming that was a test.
Yes, that's our auxiliary warning device. We have to have a way of letting members know we have a call, and that's what that is. We have to test it every so often.
Okay, so the circumstances for firing that off, if it was an actual emergency, would be to get everybody to the station.
Correct. That's what it's for. It's a requirement of the rate.
Yeah, I was just sort of unclear. I know it works perfectly though.
Yeah, it'll wake you up.
Okay, if there are no further questions of anyone, we'll move from our reports to our new business. The first item on our agenda is a resolution in support of the Cowie Tunnel 19. David, you presented that to Mr. Morgan, or does Mr. Morgan need to, who do I turn this over to?
I believe David requested.
Yeah, I mean, it was sent to, I think, multiple board members. I just passed it on to get added to the agenda. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I think they're looking to put up a monument or a marker, and they wanted the town's support behind that.
Would you like to make a motion that we have this resolution in support, and then we can discuss it?
I'll make a motion that we pass the Cowie Tunnel resolution.
Okay. Thank you. We have a motion. Is there any discussion?
I just think this is this kind of thing is a good step towards amending some historical errors, and I'm happy that they brought it to the board for adoption.
Anybody else?
I just want to mention that Gary Carden, our local storyteller, he told me of this story when I was younger, and obviously with my connection with the Tuckasegee River, I know the story well, and I was really pleased to see this on the agenda and passed as a resolution tonight.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, I just want to say, yeah, I'd heard of this story as well when I moved here, and I was actually surprised that something like this marker hasn't come up before now, and so I'm excited that some folks have taken upon themselves to move this forward and shed some light on the story, and I think it's great.
Thank you all. Anything else? Yes, I think this will allow them, with our help with this resolution, it meets state highway historical marker guidelines. So if there's no other discussion, I'll call for a vote. Amanda? You're muted. I'm sorry.
Okay, Barbara,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
Ben,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Greg.
Yes.
Thank you all. The motion carries. Now we'll move to agenda item number 10, which is Christmas parade discussion. Mr. Morgan.
Folks are getting ready for the holiday parade, whether we're going to have a holiday parade. I know that a lot of communities have canceled it because of the COVID concern, and I've sent you the requirements that the North Carolina Health and Human Services are suggesting for meeting requirements for this fall as far as events that they're having. We received notification today that the Veterans Parade has been canceled. So now it's up to the Christmas parade or holiday parade, and whether we should have it or not have it. It becomes very difficult in especially small towns, the way we do Christmas parades, where ball teams get together, cheerleaders get together, they all get on the same float, church groups, to maintain social distancing, to wear your mask, and also for people watching the parade, it becomes extremely difficult to meet the requirements for wearing your mask, social distancing, and all that we have to go through. So we're bringing it to the board to get your input as far as whether we should cancel it this year or what we should do.
Anyone want to start the discussion?
Sure, I'll start talking about it a little bit. Yeah, and I talked to Melissa McKnight, that I asked her, Mike asked me, and I asked her. One of the things she emphasized is having multiple plans in a way, because so many things are up in the air. Is there a Christmas parade light we can do? Having everything from, okay, I think clearly we're not going to be able to have our traditional Christmas parade. Just think that's not going to happen. And I can say that nothing is going to change between now and Christmas. There's not going to be any changes. There's not going to be a vaccine. The only way is to do these things. Our behavior is the only thing that's going to keep the virus from spreading around. And it's going to be tougher because people are going to be inside. We always see a spike in respiratory viral illnesses in the fall anyways, just because everybody's inside and they're close to each other, and it's just how it goes. And hopefully it'll be a little bit less this year, but it's still going to happen. We're probably, and everybody across the country is expecting a big spike. So I would say having our traditional Christmas parade is not something that's good for public health and something we should do. Whether we can come up with an alternative, today, or if we can sit down and, think about alternatives and revisit it in another board meeting as well. If we can, put our heads together and brainstorm about what could work and what couldn't work, and with input from the health department, that would be great. I just don't know, but I would say having our traditional Christmas parade is not safe and not something we should be doing this year, unfortunately.
I'm all about doing whatever we can to stop the spread of coronavirus. So yeah, I'm fine with canceling the parade. And I think there are other appropriate activities. I mean, we could have a socially distanced lighting of the tree ceremony still, something like that. But yeah, if you want a motion to cancel the parade, I'd be glad to make it.
Greg, did you have something to?
I was just going to add that, today alone, third highest daily number since this all started. This is, I agree with Ben, and I feel for you, David. This is not a good idea.
Mary or Barbara, any thoughts? I can't.
Yeah, Barbara can unmute. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, unmute your Mary.
Now I think now the unmute came up. I just think it's just not feasible. We're going to hit the flu season with the COVID season, and I don't look for things to get very much better. Being a retired nurse, it's going to be very difficult. It's going to be a difficult fall and winter. And I know the public really loves that. I do too. I love our town to have their Christmas parade, but I just don't see how we can safely do it.
Thank you. Mary?
I support not having it. It of course makes me sad that we're taking trick-or-treating away from our kids' Christmas parade, holidays and events that they're used to having, but at the same time, I understand the concerns, and I do hope maybe we can come up with some creative ideas. Our church, the Presbyterian Church, historically has done the luminaries, and I would love to continue that if that seems to be okay with everybody. And maybe we can have some sort of displays in some of the storefronts or some of the empty storefronts that are holiday oriented, bringing in, I don't know, maybe some of the art projects from the schools, just making it festive, come together, community oriented somehow. I think we've got time to come up with something.
I was thinking of something like that. If we could spend a little of our money that we may spend on the Christmas parade to put extra decorations downtown, just to make the area more festival. And then if we can figure out a way to safely have little candy deposits somewhere, just maybe we can all think in the next month about that. But from what I hear, we need a motion to just cancel the parade and keep everybody safe. David, did I hear you say?
Yeah, I'll make a motion. We cancel the Christmas parade.
Okay, thank you. Well, we've had a discussion, so Amanda, can you take a roll?
Mary,
Yes.
David, Ben,
Unfortunately, yes.
Greg,
Yes.
Barbara,
Yes.
Thank you. That passes, and I too am sad about this. I think it's one of our best events, and it brings so many people downtown, but we have to be safe and keep everybody that would come safe. Thank you all. And next on the agenda is our discussion of our nonprofit assistant grants. Mr. Morgan, I'll let you, I think we have 2 so far.
That's correct. We have 2. And I was just looking for my copy.
I'll just mention what they are while he's looking there. We have one from Friends of Jackson County Public Library, and we have one from United Christian Ministries of Jackson County. Both are in town and both have filled these out fully, I believe.
Yes, they are. I would like to say that the board decided at your last meeting that you did not have to be inside town in order to receive the grants. You just have to serve residents inside town. And we caught that in our narrative. I did not catch it in the checklist. So there's maybe a little confusion there, but it is definitely, you do not have to be located, physically located inside the town of Sylva in order to be eligible for these funds. However, you do have to serve residents of Sylva in order to receive the funds. So we have 2 tonight that we've received, as the mayor was saying. United Christian Ministries, Jackson County, and Friends of the Jackson County Public Library. Both are requesting $5,000 for the funds, and you should have seen the grant applications and however you'd like to proceed.
Are we still planning on waiting until the next meeting before we approve and wait for more to come in?
We do not have to. We said that we would take it first come, first serve in the grant application. And there was some discussions about waiting until the next meeting before you actually decide. But we can go ahead and approve these 2 if you like, being on the first come, first serve basis, if that's what you choose to do. And then we'll see if any others come available. I spoke with folks from Awake today, and I think that they are intending of putting in an application for the grant money, but that's still to come.
I respect the first come, first serve. They've put their time in, and I would like to make a motion to approve the 2 requests, one for United Christian Ministries and one for Friends of the Library. Is that what it's labeled as?
Yes.
Okay.
Any further discussion?
A couple of things. I mean, one thing to note with nonprofits is they don't meet every week. So the first come, first serve thing, I think it's good as long as we allow more than just a couple of weeks before we start accepting. The other thing is on the Friends of the Public Library one, I don't really see much of a explanation for what exactly it is they want the money for. I just see Town of Sylva residents who are patrons of the library would be the recipient. So like, I'm not really sure what COVID related expenses they're asking for. I mean, I'm tempted to say, let's wait and ask for clarification from them as to what it is they plan on doing with the money. I don't know, how's everyone else feeling on that one? I was a little surprised to see the Friends of the Library on there.
I would like to possibly wait until our next meeting so that maybe we could get more in. I'd hate to spend $10,000 and get 5 applications next week and not have any money left to dole out. So that's a good.
And I know of another organization that is planning on applying, so that puts it at the max right there. So, and I think we did say in the other meeting we were planning on waiting. So I would rather wait. I mean, it's just 2 more weeks. I don't know.
Would you be willing to do one of them, the United Christian Ministries? Because I spoke with Marcy Jones, who is the acting director there, and she says they are the only agency that helps with water bill and sewer bills. So, and they seem to fund quite a bit of things that people really need, like the community table, but.
Could I alter my motion to say just approve the United Christian Ministries grant at this time? Is that possible?
Does that work, Mr. Morgan, or?
Yes, ma'am, that surely would. It's what the board chooses to do. We can be glad to do it.
I would support that. That is exactly what we were looking for with this money.
Jake? Oh, no, okay. Okay.
I will say, if I may, with part of the thought process about the first come, first serve, and David's got a good point with some boards not meeting that often, but also we were trying to get a quick turnaround in this to get funds back on the street as quickly as possible so that the folks that need the money and assistance can actually get it.
All right, we have a motion. Any other discussion? We have an amended motion to approve the grant from United Christian Ministries for the job that they do as a nonprofit.
The discussion I would add is, could we, I mean, we're not explicitly saying we're denying the Friends of the Library request, right, but maybe Mike, can you ask them for a little bit more of an explanation on what they plan on using the funds for?
Be glad to.
Thanks.
All right. Any other discussion? Amanda?
Barbara,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
Ben,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Greg.
Yes.
Okay. Motion is approved to give out some of our money. Thank you all. I think that's what we should be doing with some of that money.
One last question. Is today Michael's last meeting with us?
It may be. Paige should be back on the 19th. So your next meeting being on the 24th, I believe, she should be back.
Well, if we don't see you again, I just want to tell you, I've really appreciated all your hard work for us.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, definitely. I second that.
Thank you.
Claps.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Being no further business, I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
I motion we adjourn.
Okay. Thank you, Ben. All those in favor, I would assume, are
Barbara,
Yes.
Mary, Ben,
Yes.
David, Greg.
Yes.
And I want to say again, David, please take care of yourself and stay home, stay well, do all the stuff you're supposed to do. Breathe in stuff to get rid of all of that congestion.
Yeah. Thanks.
Prone.
She's
Prone.
around, isn't she?
Keep rolling.
Thank you. Our meeting is adjourned.
Everyone.